enveloping not just the football nation, but also Jim Cantori has come to a conclusion. What more can you tell us, Schefter?
Well, Phil, it's now official. The NFL officially has moved Sunday's Bills-Browns game from Buffalo to Detroit. And that means that in the span of 5 days, the Buffalo Bills will play 2 straight games at Ford Field. Basically, Ford Field is their home for the next week. They'll play the Browns there on Sunday, stay in Detroit, and then play the Lions in the first game on Thanksgiving Day. But the league made a decision just a short time ago that it didn't want to divert resources from the city of Buffalo to move it away from that city while it's trying to keep the city safe. And so there you go. That game now is being shifted to Detroit, just as the Jets-Bills game was back in 2014. And the Bills now will play 2 straight games in Detroit.
All right, Schefter, thanks for that information there. Certainly a story we've been following. Literally reports of up to 6 feet of snow heading to Buffalo starting tomorrow. Listen, it's the game. It's the right thing to do for the logistics side. Does this change anything in terms of, like, is the fact that there's no weather concern an advantage for one side or the other?
Massive advantage. First of all, hopefully everyone in Buffalo is safe. Massive storm coming. First of all, massive advantage for Buffalo,
right? Yeah.
To not have to deal with that weather. They could throw the ball up and down the football field inside. Cleveland's a run team, so it negates their chances, certainly. I think the second thing is understanding that Buffalo's probably got to learn from this situation a little bit with their new stadium or their hopes for a new stadium and at least entertaining it, not being an open air as much as I love. You know, like this is a reality for them. No, it's a massive advantage for them to be able to play this game inside.
No, it is an advantage. I think so. But the only concern that I have is what will it be like inside from a fan base standpoint? Because if they can't get to the game, you know, like, will it be?
Those Buffalo fans will get there. They'll
figure it out. They're leaving the day then.
They'll get there.
They're leaving
they
the
will
day.
not pass up the opportunity to watch that team play a home game.
Yeah, well, in the past, the NFL has been good about, like, people that live locally can get into those games either reduced or free rate just to make sure there are plenty of fans inside the stands. All right, coming up on NFL Live, a busy show. How about that? So the Cowboys will bring back Adam Schefter with the latest from Philadelphia.
We have a situation here where the Philadelphia Eagles, for a second straight day, have beefed up their defensive line with another mammoth-sized addition. Yesterday, they go out and add Linval Joseph, and today, they reach agreement with Ndamukong Suh, the former Buccaneers defensive tackle, on a 1-year deal. Suh and Joseph now step into Philadelphia. I know that Joseph is likely to play on Sunday for the Eagles. We'll see if Suh can reach agreement on a Thursday and somehow come in and play some plays on Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts and Jonathan Taylor. And if you look at the Eagles' schedule in the coming weeks, they play the Giants with Saquon Barkley, the Titans with Derrick Henry, the Colts with Jonathan Taylor. Some big-time rushing attacks, and that's one of the reasons that they beefed up their undermanned defensive line with Jordan Davis ailing there.
As far as available free agents go, Swagoo, not too many names bigger than Ndamukong Suh, but how impactful is this move on the field?
It's huge, babyface, and we know the drop-off in the run defense without Jordan Davis, but Ndama and Linval, those guys not only are veterans, but they played the physical style of football that is re-implementing itself into the NFL. And Howie Roseman strikes again, identify need, identify weakness, and start to build in that area. And the plus is, if you do want to put Suh on the interior on pass rush downs, you can get there with 4. I still believe he got some juice left in the tank as a 3 technique, or even lined up over a 0 or over the center to get after the quarterback. Great move by Howie Roseman.
We have more breaking news. This is the beauty of doing television live. We go right back to Adam Schefter and the story that have been making their rounds through the NFC North. In Week 7, Dallas picked off Jared Goff twice on their way to a 24-6 win in Dak Prescott's first game back from injury. Very next week, Dallas hung 49 on the Bears, won by 20. Dak threw 2 TD passes. Tony Pollard ran for a $131, found the end zone 3 times. That luck ran out in Lambeau. Dak and the Cowboys blew a 14-point fourth quarter lead and lost in overtime for the first time in 196 tries. Here's Mike McCarthy.
I mean, I see him every day. I mean, Dak Prescott is, you know, I think his best days are ahead of him. And, you know, I'm excited to work with him every day, what he brings to the table. So, I mean, he's our quarterback, and I get the evaluation that we have to go through, but I have zero concerns for him.
All right, let's bring in Ed Werder, who's down at the Star in Frisco covering the Cowboys, of course. Ed, we just heard McCarthy on his quarterback. What's the Cowboys' level of concern with Dak's play recently?
I would say they're minimally concerned. You know, you have to keep in mind that with the front office trading number one receiver Amari Cooper in the offseason and failing to replace him, that Dak Prescott was put in a difficult situation by his own team. And criticism is especially harsh when the Cowboys lose, considering their success with backup Cooper Rush winning 4 of his 5 starts while Prescott recovered from thumb surgery. You know, even though the offensive production has been substantially higher in Prescott's starts, the Cowboys are only 2-2 and lost a 2-touchdown lead in Green Bay. Prescott certainly threw 2 costly interceptions, both of which the Packers converted into touchdowns. Even though neither may have been entirely his fault, Prescott finding it hard to win the benefit of the doubt. But as you heard Mike McCarthy say, he's unwavering in his support of his $40 million quarterback, saying the quarterback's best days are ahead of him, that he's still excited to work with him every day. And he finished with an unequivocal statement about Prescott, saying, he's our quarterback. I have 0 concerns about him.
Yeah, it's only year 7. We should wait till at least year 15 before we expect him to win another playoff game. Listen, the Cowboys' D hasn't exactly been lighting it up lately, Ed. I guess they're running the ball more against them. What concerns are there heading into Minnesota, against that Vikings offense?
Yeah, I mean, in the estimation of Mike McCarthy, the Vikings present Dallas and the defense with 5 elite offensive skill position players, both wide receivers, the tight end, the running back, and the quarterback. And Dan Quinn's defense has allowed 200 yards rushing to its 2 most recent opponents, the Bears and the Packers. McCarthy said they expect Dalvin Cook to challenge the Cowboys' perimeter run defense right away, saying, we understand it's going to be outside zone getting off the bus. And as soon as I say that, they're going to take a shot down the field. The Cowboys... they have to win against the run on first and second down to do what they do better than any team in the league, and that's rush the passer. That's an area of emphasis for the defense this week. And Kirk Cousins has not performed well when under pressure. But, of course, the Vikings can threaten the Cowboys in the passing game in a way that maybe no other opponent has to this point. McCarthy describing Justin Jefferson as a premier player, although one limited to 2 receptions and 21 yards when the Cowboys won in Minnesota last season. And that starting quarterback, of course, in Minnesota last season for the Cowboys, Cooper Rush.
Right. Ed, I just have it. The word 2.5, the number 2.5 is in 2.5 sacks for Micah Parsons just keeps jumping to my mind. Drop back against Micah at your own peril. Thank you, Ed. Cowboys defense hasn't been great over the last few weeks, especially against the Packers. Gave up over 200 yards on the ground, allowed 3 Rodgers TD passes. Cowboys safety Jaron Kearse on his Dallas defense.
If you're not frustrated, then we got the wrong guys on this defense. If you're not mad, we got the wrong guys on this defense. And